Hi there, this is David and welcome to New RPG News. This is my weekly segment every Saturday where I go over everything good that there is in the RPG sphere. We have tons of stuff to talk about today, from a new mana game, like old school mana, good mana, to some metaphor news, Final Fantasy 16 as well as 7. We have a possible Super Mario RPG 2. Yeah, we have Far East of Eden Zero stuff going on. We have maybe a Bravely Default 3. We have all sorts of stuff to talk about today. And if you're new to the channel, please be sure that you subscribe for some more news, top 10s, reviews, rants, and also hit that like button for the ratio and show all the appreciation. Also, this week I do want to come to y'all and let you know that I am selling a shirt. This cool shirt right here. I have it as a t-shirt. I also have it as a baseball shirt. Y'all asked for a shirt that has my logo on it, so hey, Dragon Quest inspired, my favorite series. Why not? It's available for a limited time, and there's a link to it in the video description as well as the pinned comment if you would like to pick one up for you or your loved one just in time for the holidays. And now with all that, let's get started on this news. So I'm recording this on Friday, and last night was Thursday, which was the Game Awards, and a lot of stuff was happening at the Game Awards. And I was live sexting? We'll just go with tweeting. I was live tweeting during all that Game Awards stuff, and the one thing that blew my freaking little tiny mind here was Visions of Mana being announced for the PS5, PS4, Xbox, and PC due out sometime in 2024. This is a return to form. This is a back to the basics mana. I talked about this in kind of my little reaction video that I made about the Game Awards and everything, where I went over this, went over Final Fantasy VII, went over Metaphor. This is the first mainline installment in more than 15 years. And you know what's so funny about this? So I put out a best hidden gems of 2023 video Thursday morning. Then Thursday night, this is announced, and in my hidden gem video, I was talking about Trinity Trigger and how I loved the Mana series and how it was like a spiritual successor to the Mana series. And I was like, you know what? There's only been 3 good Manas, and then Mana fell off a cliff. What's going on with Mana? Why can't we get a good Mana? Well, I guess the man upstairs was listening, and here we are. We have a good Mana. Ha! I'm loving this. Okay, so here we go. It says it's going to return to the series' action RPG roots and takes players on an adventure with the protagonist Val, a soul guard assigned to protect his childhood friend who's been chosen by the fairy as the Alm of Fire to travel to the Tree of Mana and rejuvenate the mana flow. So, yeah, very basic story, back to the basics. That's what I love. It's just you see monsters that you know and love, you see the mana spirits, you see Sylphid him floating through the air, you see Undyne him swimming through the ocean, all that kind of good stuff. I am so happy about this. I've loved the Mana series ever since I got the first one, Final Fantasy Adventure back on the Game Boy. Then I loved Secret of Mana. We didn't get Seiken and Setsu 3, unfortunately, but Legend of Mana was okay. Dawn of Mana was that introduced the whole world of Mana thing. I could go on with the Mana series for a year and a day, but all I gotta say is, I am happy about this. Also announced during the Game Awards, we have a new trailer for Metaphor Refantazio launching in fall of next year. This is going to be coming out for the PS5, the Xbox, the PS4, and PC. We had this new trailer, some new gameplay. This is from the makers of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, Persona 3, 4, 5. People from Nier Automata, Neon Genesis Evangelion are working on this. Lots of stuff, lots of good people with good pedigree are working on this game. And also, on Monday, December 11th at 3:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, they are going to be having a special YouTube Live broadcast going over a bit more about this game and featuring the various voice actors. But I want to read the story blurb that we have here. It says, our story takes place in the United Kingdom of Uchronia, where the assassination of the king brings chaos and unrest to the land. Then, one fateful day, a magic known only to the king called the royal magic is invoked, and the world becomes embroiled in a royal tournament for the throne. In the midst of this, the protagonist, together with his partner, the fairy Gallica, must find a way to break the curse that has been placed on the prince that the kingdom believes to be dead. To do so, they depart on a journey across the vast land. They discover that in order to achieve their goal, though, they must participate in the tournament for the throne, and this great task shall require them to ally with many friends and followers of the various tribes inhabiting the world. And then I was reading through some of the little blurbs about the various characters, but the one that really caught my eye was the blurb about the protagonist right here, because it says right here, he's a boy of the Elda tribe, branded as a tainted people by the state religion who believe that they've inherited dangerous and heretical magic. Being so rare among the populace, they're detested and discriminated against throughout the kingdom. So this does look like it has a really good story, really good background here, and I, for one, am totally looking forward to this. This is high on my most anticipated list. We have a new trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth called Theme Song. It features the Gold Saucer, Corel Prison, Vincent, Cid, and more such as Dine and Dio and other various characters. I will say this, I thought it was really odd. Like, did Square Enix give Cid a lobotomy or something in this trailer? He went from kind of like rough, gruff, drunk, sit down, drink your goddamn tea, to, hello, miss, I'm Southern Gentleman Cid, and I'd be glad to help you out. I'm like, who is this Cid? Who are you? I was like, what is happening here? And also, speaking of Cid and Vincent, there's nothing in this article about it, but Square did say a couple of months ago, actually, that both Cid and Vincent, they will be introduced in Part 2, but they will not be playable in Part 2. So that is rather upsetting. It was just like the whole trailer was just fascinating to me. One thing that I thought was kind of cool, though, it does talk about Biggs and him being the last surviving member of Avalanche and everybody else in Avalanche dying, but he's talking to Zack, but Zack supposedly in the first game was also dead, and then Marlene is talking to Zack and having a premonition that Arius is going to die. So some people in the comments were like, maybe there's two timelines going on. Maybe there's a Zack survives timeline where Biggs also survives and Biggs gets with Zack, and then Marlene has the premonition about Arius dying and Arius dies in Zack's timeline. And then there's like the Cloud timeline where the Whispers are there and things change and then Arius survives in that timeline, but everybody else dies or something. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just kind of guessing. I'm just kind of relating some people's comments to y'all, some things that I thought were kind of interesting. The whole thing is just fascinating to me. We also had a shadow drop of the Final Fantasy XVI DLC Echoes of the Fallen and The Rising Tide. Echoes of the Fallen is out right now for $10. The Rising Tide is going to be later for spring of 2024, more than likely after 7 Rebirth comes out. There will be an expansion pass that will allow you to purchase both of them, though, for $25. And guess who has this DLC? Yo boy! So I'm going to be making a video on my impressions of this as well, so do be on the lookout for that. Let's go ahead and read over the overview of Echoes of the Fallen, though. It says, as the sun sets over the land of Valisthea, strange dark crystals begin to circulate on the black market. Could they be the sinister fruit of a long-slumbering mother crystal, one that the world never knew existed? Setting out in search of answers, Clyde and the company encounter a group of suspicious traders. Their trail leads them to a long-abandoned fallen tower known as the Sage Spire and the terrible secrets that await within. So I'm currently looking forward to this DLC expansion myself. Do look forward to my video on this too. And Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year. If you haven't played this yet, what are you doing? It is now available for the Xbox. So if you don't have a Sony system or a PC or whatever and you're only an Xbox player, now you can pick up this fantastic game. It's going to be for $70 right there. So yeah, it does cost a pretty penny, but I will say, even as a fan of JRPGs myself, it's worth it. You're going to have a good time with this one. And now in the little short story here, Inazuma 11 Victory Road now has a PC version. We already knew it was coming out for the PlayStation, the Switch, the iOS, Android, but now it is getting a PC version as well. We don't have a release date, nothing else like that. It's still just going to be sometime next year. We also know the beta test for the demo on the Switch is going to be held in March of next year as well, but still no release date. But yeah, if you are a PC player, you are happy about this, I'm sure. Also shown last night at the Video Game Awards was Monster Hunter Wilds, announced for the PS5, the Xbox, and the PC, due out sometime not next year, but in 2025. They said, "We're thrilled to announce Monster Hunter Wilds today and reveal the newest entry in the Monster Hunter series for fans all over the world. Our team is working passionately to create the greatest Monster Hunter experience yet, and we're eager to play the game with everybody whenever it launches in 2025. Until then, please look forward to summer 2024, whenever we're going to have some more information to share." So all we know about it right now is the trailer that I am playing above me. So if you're a Monster Hunter fan, you have something else to look forward to here too. Oh my gosh, y'all. Squealing with girlish glee right now. Super Mario RPG director wants to make a sequel. Yeah! I want you to make a sequel too! Oh my gosh! I do too. It says here, in a conversation with MinMax, director Chihiro Fujioka said that he still has a desire to create a sequel to Super Mario RPG. He'd previously also worked on Nintendo's Mario & Luigi series as well, but said that he'd like to develop one more RPG adventure for Mario only. To that end, he revealed that he still hopes to create a sequel to The Legend of the Seven Stars, and also teased that he might have ideas about what the game's story could look like. He then says, "In my career, I've been involved in a lot of games, you know. I would really like my final one to be another Mario RPG game if possible. I think that Mario & Luigi is cool, but I would like to go back and create a Mario RPG where you're only controlling Mario." So if there is hope for a Super Mario RPG 2 to come out one day, it lies with the success of the new remake. If that thing sells like wildfire, then you know how Nintendo is. Okay, yeah, we have a good thing here. We're going to move on to a sequel. If it bombs, then yeah, I don't think so. You know, but hopefully it does well, because I personally, out of the Paper Marios or the Mario and Luigi's, I like the original the best. It is the first Mario RPG, and it is the best Mario RPG, and I will take that to my grave. More news on the Pokémon DLC. The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero Part 2, the Indigo Disc, details the Synchro Machine, Flight, and Legendary Pokémon. This is coming out on December 14th right now. The Synchro Machine, bear with me here. It says, they'll be able to use a device called the Synchro Machine to see the world through the eyes of the Pokémon. Well synchronized with one of their Pokémon, they can move around and battle the wild Pokémon, a fresh new way to play the game. It appears that this device is still a prototype, and players can use it once they've helped the scientist in the Terranium with her research. Then it goes to the power of flight. The legendary Pokémon Koraidon, or Miriadon, will gain the power to fly for the first time when trainers take on the elite trial set by Amorous of the BB League Elite Four. While this power is at first believed to only be temporarily imparted, it can apparently be made permanent, allowing them to fly at any time, but only once players have made it far enough into their adventures. Trainers will be able to fly wherever they please with the legendary Pokemon and enjoy the sense of freedom that only an open world can provide. Then it says later on that they'll meet a curious character named Snacksworth at Blueberry Academy, and by completing their quests, you'll gain snacks from the guy, and it will allow you to encounter certain legendary Pokemon throughout the series all the way back to the Paldea region. So that's pretty neat. Let me know if you are looking forward to this Pokemon DLC. Another one of the most hotly anticipated games of next year, Granblue Fantasy Relink. This is announced that it has a 20-hour main story, but it can be up to 100 hours for completionists. Do not worry your pretty little heads off if you're over there screaming that it's, oh my god, it's only 20 hours. I've got to say this. I would rather the game be 20 hours of solid gameplay, action-packed, with no filler, and you get through the story and you do it, than have 100 hours of bullshit filler and then, 20 hours of the good stuff. I'd rather just have the good stuff in one chunk, and if I want the filler, I can have that in a different chunk, if that makes sense. But there's even more here. It says, So we have 20 hours for just the main story, if you just fly straight into the main story. But additionally, those who seek to complete quests alongside the main story, like me, that's how I play a game, should expect about 40 hours of content, so about twice as much content with the quests. Then there's an unspecified additional scenario that's unlocked after completing a series of quests after the credits roll for the main story, and that's expected to make the total playtime roughly 40 hours. Then, as you complete everything else, it says completing all the story content, more challenging quests will be unlocked, implementing a gameplay loop for more powerful foes and equipment can be discovered, so completionist completion should about be 100 hours of playtime. So there's plenty of content here before you get your little panties in a bunch that it's only 20 hours. Even if it was only 20 hours, like all told, I'd still really want it. It just looks amazing. I am so looking forward to this game. Put on your best roller skates and start singing Olivia Newton-John, because Xanadu is coming to the Nintendo Switch. This is Falcom's classic RPG, and it was part of the Dragon Slayer series, which then evolved into the Legend of Heroes series, which then evolved into the Trails series. Yeah, that series. So if you want to go way back and see where that series evolved from, this is it. This came out for the PC 88. I never actually played this game, but I did play, there was a remake on the NES called Xanadu, and I did play that one as a child. I never bought it. I want to say I got it from Video Wonderland. I rented it for like a weekend, and I was like, eh. So, yeah. If you want to look like a little piece of history, something that's interesting, then you might want to check this out. Tengai Makyo Ziria has been translated. Oh my gosh, look at this trailer above me. Think to yourself, what year do you think that this game came out? I'm gonna tell you and blow your little mind, it came out in 1989. You know what other game came out in 1989? The first Dragon Warrior. Yeah, at least that one came out in America in 89. It came out in 86 in Japan, but still. So this is what we're looking at, the differences in technology here between the NES and the PC Engine. This actually came out on a CD back in 89. I didn't even have a CD player in my house until like 93 or something like that. Anyway, this is the debut entry of the Tengai Makyo series published by Hudson Soft for the PC Engine in 89. It was the first RPG ever released on CD, and it served as a showcase for the new medium with elaborate visuals and voice acting far beyond what any competing title could offer. Its success led it to become the first in a popular series, very little of which was ever released outside of Japan. Yeah, there was like nothing released outside of Japan. There's a bunch of these games over in Japan. It was one of the big series back in the 8 and 16-bit and even 32-bit eras, but it never left Japan. The only one that was really ever translated was Far East of Eden Zero on the SNES, which I did a Let's Play of back in the day as well. So I love this series of what I've played and what I've seen. It is a traditional turn-based RPG. It looks beautiful, and I cannot wait to download this patch and give it a try myself. And here we have our final story of the day, one that I think that all y'all are really gonna like. I know I really like it. It says, the new Team Asano game announcements teased for 2024 and onward. If you are thinking to yourself, who's Team Asano? Who are they? Bravely Default? Ring a bell? Yeah, this is the team behind Bravely Default, and they came out to Twitter, and they're talking about the new games that they are going to be coming out. I'm going to read their message here. It says, hello everyone, Asano from Square Enix here. Every time we reach this time of year, I think to myself, the year's almost over. Huh. How has everybody's year been? After we released Octopath Traveler 2, yeah, they worked on that one. The mobile game and its versions recently celebrated anniversaries. Thank you very much. Even as our line expanded, we had no announcements or follow-up reports on consoles, but we've continued to prepare. From next year, new titles should be coming out or announced on a regular basis, so I ask you to please pay attention to that. We'll be doing our yearly tradition project soon. So basically he's saying from next year on out, we're going to be having a new game each and every year. Are we going to be getting a Bravely Default 3? Are we going to be getting ports of Bravely Default or Bravely Second that are stuck on 3DS brought over? What about the 4 Heroes of Light? And you know what other game Team Asano's working on? Do you know? Do you know? Let me tell you. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake! So yeah, we know that Yuji Horii has playtested that himself. He spent up till 10 o'clock at night playtesting that himself. There was a lot of content there, and now Team Asano's being like, hey, we have something that we need to announce, but we can't really talk about it right now, but please do look forward to our announcement of Dragon Quest 3! So yeah, I am so excited. This is stupid. I'm so excited about this, y'all. You have no idea. Oh my god, traditional turn-based RPGs, they are alive, they are well, and I am happy about it. So that's it for the news of this week. Let me know what y'all are most excited for. Let me know what y'all are looking forward to the most. And as always, have a good day.